A wheelbarrow. 10 wheelbarrows full of firewood, chopped up by, technically speaking, cut up by a Dewalt 30 centimetre 18 volt battery operated chainsaw. It's been fantastic. I am truly astonished. As you'll see in the rest of this video, I just use vegetable oil as bar oil, and as a guesstimate I've used perhaps 200, 300 millilitres, a third of a litre, maybe €1's worth. And what does that look like in terms of lubrication of the saw? The chain is wet, I can feel it's wet. No issues with getting lubrication using vegetable oil. Cheap and environmentally friendly. If you spill this, it doesn't matter. If you decide to use vegetable oil as bar oil, then something to bear in mind is this is based on rapeseed oil. Pretty sure made from 100% rapeseed. It's been in the garage all winter. Wouldn't say it would be down below freezing in the garage, close to it. This is extra virgin olive oil, and olive oil tends to congeal at low temperatures, so get the cheaper rapeseed oil and you'll be grand. After all that cutting, the chain is slightly loose, it's not too bad. I absolutely just love that you don't need to have a specific size spanner socket to loosen off the cover and then adjust the chain tension. You just undo this knob, and with this knob you just turn till you have the tension as you would like it. Like I say, it hasn't slackened off too much. Say that's fine. Tighten up the cover knob again. Perfect. I'm invested in the Dewalt Eco system. I have several of their batteries, 4, 5 of the genuine Dewalt batteries, and 4 aftermarket ones, an aftermarket charger, and 2 Dewalt chargers. I'd say the genuine Dewalt batteries definitely last longer. They're genuinely 5 amps. I'm not convinced that these aftermarket ones are 5 amps. Up until now, I've been charging them solely in the charger that was alongside them on the Amazon website. I've also got another Dewalt charger which came with that chainsaw and another battery, a 5 amp hour battery. So I'm now charging this aftermarket one on that charger, so I'll see if that makes a difference to their runtime, how long they last. I realise this is gratuitous product placement, but I've genuinely enjoyed cutting up the 10 loads of firewood. It's given me absolutely no grief whatsoever. It's just like worked. So now for the rest of the day I'll be chopping up firewood. A fabulous workout. Thanks for taking the time, always appreciated. So I ran out of firewood, and luckily, or sadly, the forester has lots of wind-blown trees due to Storm Éowyn. So I went up yesterday and got this batch. I've already chopped up some of it to stack by the stove. More on that later. Probably about a third of it I chopped up with the two-stroke Tanaka, which has been giving me trouble for a very long time. It does start, it does run, it takes a while to warm up and run smoothly. The issue this time is it's not getting oil, which is not an issue directly connected to it being a two-stroke chainsaw. But I got out the battery operated chainsaw and chopped up the other 2/3, and it was a pleasure. So let's just see how long it takes me to chop up the rest of this using a very small 18-volt Dewalt 30-inch bar, 30-centimeter bar chainsaw. Vegetable oil, 3 litres. I think these cost around €5–6 in most of the major supermarkets. Still 2 bars. Incredible. Okay, I'm wearing headphones, ear defenders, but I probably wouldn't need to. It's pretty quiet anyway, and as you can hear, it's silent. It's always just ready to go. This is pretty damp, so I'm cutting it up into very small sections, logs, before I split it into even smaller pieces so that it will dry out really quickly. Otherwise, it would take me a lot less time to chop all this up. Still, it's doing pretty well. Okie dokie. So 1.5 wheelbarrows on a 5 ampere battery. This isn't a genuine Dewalt 5 ampere battery, and although it's showing 2 now, they're definitely not as the longevity, if that's the correct phrase, word, isn't as good as the genuine Dewalt batteries. But we'll see. Yeah, I didn't think it would be quite as up for it as the Dewalt, genuine Dewalts. Still, in the time it's taken to do that, the other 5 ampere battery is now fully charged. The fox has come to take a look at it all. Hey Foxy, so good to see you. You had a limp the other day, and I'm so glad that that seems to be healing up. I'll get you some chicken, will I? Hey Foxy, chicken, look, chicken. He's off. So it's now 11:33 and 11:34, and it's starting to get dark. Quite phenomenal. It's just cutting like it was brand new. I haven't sharpened the chain, I've put oil in it, but that's all. Beautiful snowflakes coming out the back. Incredible. 7 wheelbarrows. I am gobsmacked. And it's not 7 wheelbarrows of 20 centimetre, 30 centimetre rounds. It's 7 wheelbarrows of 110 centimetre, 15 centimetre for the most part. There's one that's 20 centimetre. But as you can see, not big rounds by any manner of means. They're small logs. Oh, well, not that small. Some of these are decent enough size. I'm impressed, to be quite frank. I'd have carried on, but it'll be dark in 15-20 minutes, so I'll finish off in the morning. It rained overnight, which is a bit disappointing. Wasn't forecast to rain. It's now 11 minutes past 10. So the batteries have gone down. I'm down to my last fully charged Dewalt battery. It's got 3 bars. It's a 3 amp hour battery. It will be more than plenty to do the 2 cuts I have left. 3 cuts. In comparison with using a gas-powered chainsaw, that was a pleasure. Much quieter, absolutely silent unless you're actually cutting. No toxic, harmful fumes to breathe in, just a pleasure. I'd also say that, okay, the gas-powered chainsaw, the small Tanaka, isn't as well as it was when it was brand new, even though that's just been astonishing how quickly that's cut through 10 barrow loads of reasonable size firewood within its capability. It's now 10:15.
I found this on the web.
Siri's making a comment on the fact that it's 10:15. So that's just fabulous and really enjoyable. I'm absolutely going to be growing my own food this year, or some of my own food this year. It'll be interesting to find out if I get spruce and eucalyptus flavoured tomatoes. The first timber I cut up with that Dewalt Chain Saw was some eucalyptus after Storm Eowyn, and to demonstrate it working I also cut up some of the spruce that had already dried out in the polytunnel, and this time it's cut a lot faster, and my belief would be that the reason why it's cut a lot faster is this is very freshly cut larch, pine and spruce, and it has a very high moisture content still, around 40% realistically, which is about right for freshly cut spruce and pine, and that moisture is acting as a lubricant and a coolant, so the motor's having to put less effort into cutting through the logs. This piece is, I cut this and chopped it up the day that I got back with the logs of firewood in the hope that I'd be able to burn it in the stove, but there's just really no point in doing that. It's currently 30% moisture content, so you're having to boil off lots of water before you actually get any heat out of it. So it's just, there's no point. I'm definitely not going to be sticking this in the stove. My preference, therefore, is to cut up firewood into rounds when it's very freshly cut, when the trees have freshly been cut down. Conversely, when it comes to chopping them up with an axe, with the axe, and I am going to chop all this up now in order to try and get it to dry out as fast as possible so that I can use it in the stove. However, my feeling is that if you leave it to dry out, once you've cut it into rounds, if you leave it to dry out for 4 to 6 weeks, then it will become brittle and it will be more easily split. Having said that, a decent splitting axe makes short work of chopping up firewood. These are only 10 centimetres or so long, so that does help. There's also no knots in this couple of rounds that I've had a chop at here, and that also helps. Anyway, if you've made it this far, fair play to you. Good luck.